is Adelaide. It sits as the capital of South Australia. It is home to 1.19 million people, and it's got the largest Aboriginal artifacts display, has some of the nicest churches, is home to some of the biggest glass houses, and that's at least what Google told me. But more importantly, it's the birthplace of my Uncle Chris. So I'd visit for family ties, but I mean, come on, he doesn't want to visit Australia anyway. But let's get back to those glass houses for a second. So instead of having me tell you about these glass houses and what they are, I'll just have Expedia tell you. So I'll put up their video behind me on the wall, and I'll just let them do the talking for me instead. So I'll just put that video up right.
You'll feel as though you have stepped into a painting by Monet at the Adelaide Botanic Gardens. Set on the edge of the central business district, this quiet space features walking trails, conservatories, and 3 spectacular glass houses.
So there you go. But that really conveniently ties into my next bucket list item, which I'll have start right.
Pourquoi vous lisez?
C'est mon métier.
C'est drôle. Tout à coup, je ne sais pas quoi dire.
Nature. It's where you go when you're tired of being inside. I don't meditate a lot, so my mindfulness comes from nature, really. The best for me is just walking around, roaming, which in many cases means I get lost, but that's fine. What really makes it special for me, however, is listening to music that has auditory depth. That's not a real term, but it's the best way I can describe music that has something just happening in either ear. Take Aqueous Transmission by Incubus, for example. You're just gonna have to trust me. It sounds better with headphones. The one thing I wish when I eventually die is I want to make sure that I carved out space for myself to do just that. Roam. Now, if you haven't been... Actually, hold on. I need to put this lens on just for the effect. Now, if you haven't been able to tell already, my passion in life would be videography, or really just anything that has to do with the production of a video. And I don't know, just the entire process of like editing, color grading, finding the right music, just filming, it's all super enjoyable to me. And I'm about 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the video now, and that's probably like, I'd say I've done about 7 hours of editing total. And by the time I'm finished, I could have easily done 13 to 15 total hours of editing. And I just want to say I loved absolutely every minute of it. If there's one hope that I can have for the rest of my life is I want to do this as my job. I want to have this as my career. And when I do finally pass, I want to at least be able to say that I gave it my best shot. So that's my passion on my bucket list. Let's move on to the next item, I guess. Oh, hold on. I want a tattoo. Specifically from an artist named Stick. He's based out of the UK and he specializes in graffiti. Specifically, stick figures. For me, his art style is super simple, but it can still tell a story, and I think that's beautiful. My personal favorite is the one he did after the 2012 London riots. It's just 3 stick figures, all on fire. It's representative of unity, even when things are going terribly. That's why I want it tattooed, probably somewhere on my arm, and I think tattoos are cool anyway. I want to get a tattoo. This is just a transition clip so I can change the music for the next and last bucket list item. prompt for this last entry was ways you would like to help the world. You know, like volunteer work, donating, mission trips, etc., but I don't really like any of that. And if that makes me a bad human being, then that makes sense. I get it, but I just had a different take on this. Yeah, it's good to do the aforementioned things, but what I think is more important is the way you raise your kids. What will really make more of an impact on the world is if we had a society that was able to talk to one another and be honest and not let our emotions get in the way of a reason, and being able to come to the best conclusion. But that kind of society can never really exist. But I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, look at this kid. Imagine it's your kid. She has all of the hopes and dreams that a parent could ask for. She loves baseball. She loves her family. She loves her family's fat cat. Now imagine that same person growing up and being such a respectable person that she will own up to her own mistakes, even if it makes her look bad. I think that's something that when I'm on my deathbed, dying from whatever condition or illness, or maybe I just lived to be 120, which is honestly too long to be alive, but that's something I can look back at and be truly proud of. Now, let's recap. I want to visit Adelaide, number 1. 2, I want to make time for myself to roam. 3, I want to pursue cinematography. 4, I want to get a tattoo. And lastly, 5, I want to have some kids. But I mean, that's just a list I wrote in high school. Maybe I'll actually finish it. One day.